For Mr. Anthony, Mackie, and Sebastian Stan! That guy, and welcome to Chicago. And as I said before, I'm really enjoying your Wizard World t-shirt. This man doesn't just do a convention, he does a convention. You show the love.
Got a few pictures and autographs yesterday. Saw Norman of the Reedus.
Of House Reedus.
I got a picture. That's how I roll.
Yeah? Well, what do you think? Would you trade in, both of you, would you trade in your weapons from Captain America for a crossbow? How do you think you would do with a crossbow?
I don't want to know.
I feel like a crossbow is like setting you up for death.
That's so bad. So bad.
So bad. It's like by the time you get back here and feel a little sprain, your brain's ready.
Yeah, it takes time to load, pull back, and shoot.
It's not like you know, crossbow Uzi.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
You can easily, stab yourself in the eye.
That's what I assume.
It's true, yeah. Which, maybe that's another comic book story we could explore. How the Winter Soldier lost his eye. That's a spin-off episode. Yeah. Well, speaking of comics, I do have to open with a comic book question. I don't want to make things too awkward here,
The answer
but
is yes.
yes.
I'm very excited about it.
Very excited about it. No, my question is, now in the comics, each of you have taken on the mantle of Captain America. And I don't want to make it weird, but I mean, between your characters, the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, who would make a better captain?
That's not a good question.
I would say him because he has like the hair, cool James Dean thing going.
Yeah.
Which would be under a helmet.
If I was Cap, it would be more like Batman. Like, why is Cap just whooping people's ass all the time? Brother Cap is a whole different movie.
No, I want to see that movie.
That's when it get real.
I feel like you look good with those, like the goggles that you have. I feel like they would, just those alone would look pretty bad.
Yeah.
I like my goggles.
Just constantly reminding yourself, like Batman, like, who is that guy? I'm Captain America. as Captain America should do, yes. Well, let's go ahead and take a question from over here. Hi there.
Hi. First of all, thank you both so much for coming to Chicago. I saw you guys in Philadelphia. You were just completely awesome.
Oh my God. See, I'm not...
And my question, I'm sorry, it's loading on my phone.
You have to write down.
Sorry, it's a written question.
That's interesting.
So, my question is for Sebastian. In the first Captain America, when Steve was rescuing Bucky, he was talking about his number, and there's a theory online that it began with 32, and in the 40s it began with 32. It basically meant that Bucky was drafted, and I would like to know your thoughts on that theory.
Let me just say, I know the comics and now I'm confused. I'm feeling a little bit, oh God.
I guess that makes sense that he would be drafted, but I always liked the idea that he wasn't drafted, that he made the choice to enlist himself, because I always thought that he, when I read up on the comics, he was, given his family background, he was always sort of following his dad's footsteps, which would always have been in the army. So it kind of gave him no choice that he had made on his own to be in the army, which later for me kind of gave him that angst to be unsure whether or not he wanted to be there.
Boom. Wasn't ready for that, huh? We do research.
If you ever get stumped,
That's the best sound in the world.
if you ever get stumped, you could just blame Skrulls, all right? That's like the nerd shortcut we can use. Just like, oh, well, that was Skrull Bucky. Oh, shoot, did I say that out loud? Hi there.
Hi, okay.
Yep.
Well, first off, Sebastian Stan, huge fan since I saw you as Jefferson on Once Upon a Time. That role was phenomenal. You made me cry in at least 2 episodes. So for both of you, I would like to ask what you took from other roles or maybe from other personalities that might have helped you with Captain America 2, because I feel like with watching Bucky and Winter Soldier, there were some, at least facial expressions that kind of felt like you reached into some of the Jefferson angst, or if you did that.
He only has one face.
Except for Skrull Bucky.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you know, just one human person is playing all the characters.
When you open your eyes, you reminded me of the last movie you did.
But, you know, listen, you bring up an interesting point, which, you know, I think that's the biggest challenge for actors, in my opinion. Is like I always struggle seeing myself over and over again. And I hate that. You know, I always just try and find different things, but it's hard. It's always going to be a part of you. You know, there's always going to be something that's recognizable. I feel like in every character about the actor. So,
Like your face.
like, yeah, which is why I should just wear the mask all the time.
Who's this guy? You know, hanging out. Senses.
I'm gonna fog off your glasses next time we're on set.
Just Falcon flying all over the Trump flying. Maybe we shouldn't let him into the Avengers. Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. My question is for the both of you. So each Marvel movie has its own different genre. If there was ever a Falcon and Winter Soldier spin-off movie, what genre would you want it to be?
Buddy cop.
Yeah, Buddy Cop is being shown.
Buddy Cop would be by far the best. Or, you know, when we were shooting The Winter Soldier, I realized that there's a comic book storyline where Black Widow falls in love with Bucky. Have y'all read it? I'm not making that up. That's in the comic book.
He did his research.
Yeah, 'cause, you know, 20 minutes later, you'll be on Twitter. Oh my God, isn't that Captain America, Bucky, and Black Widow? No. It's in the comic book. So, I think a rom-com with the two of us right now. I think that would be pretty awesome.
I concur.
Who would be the wacky neighbor in that scenario?
Chris Evans.
Doing a Kramer.
Or Chris Pratt goes back a couple years ago to his role in Community.
Hi, I'm Sierra. What is one of your favorite scenes from Captain America: The Winter Soldier?
I say when he catches the shield, when you first move. When Cap throws the shield and he's like, good job. Like, yo, Falcon is not fighting that dude.
I gotta fly somewhere.
Yeah,
Got a thing.
Refuel the wings.
I always like the highway sequence. There's the car chasing sequence. I thought like that was just really different from all the other Marvel films, like till now.
Cool. Hi there.
Hi. So in the first Captain America movie, like compared to the second one, Bucky's character, like, it changes a lot, and it's kind of like it ends and then picks up and it's completely different. It's not like a slow transition. So like, how did you get in the mindset, or like what did you do to like help smooth that along?
So are you happy it wasn't a miniseries, or did you want a miniseries?
I think she would take a miniseries.
As like a miniseries, that sounds great.
Season 2, Bucky. Soldier. Every episode.
Yeah.
Oh man, thank you HBO.
Some dude walking through the room.
Like the Dawson's Creek soundtrack.
remember Bucky.
Just the comic books, you know. That's where you go every time. I mean, that's your biggest source. So, just lucky to have those.
There you go. Boom. There. We have the Black Widow actually with us, so.
Hello. What is your favorite moment to happen like on set?
While we were shooting?
Yeah.
Did it take?
Don't remember.
No, I would say when, oh man, my first day, I show up, I'm like, wow, I'm in a Marvel movie, this is amazing. I'm standing on set and there's a construction crane about 250 feet in the air. And there's a little bitty black dude on the top. And they get on the board and they're like, all right, we want you to do a backflip, come to the ground, invert it, and we'll stop you at 4 feet. Roll sound. I was like, yup. Because I knew I wouldn't have to do that. It's the little thing. You don't have to drop me 200 feet. Done.
Yeah, I was okay with not being on top of that car. This spin sequence. I don't know. I mean, we hardly had any green screen. We were never really in a studio on this film. So the fact of just being outside and literally having things blow up around you. I mean, like it didn't matter how many times we did it. It just always got a kick out of it. You know, just that feeling of like, wow, I'm on a movie set. You know, it just that was always exciting. It was always a fun part that I remember the most.
If you watch Cap, what's really funny about the movie, and I think because it's so directed so well, you don't really see it, the looks on our faces, every time somebody's shooting at us or something blows up or we're running for cover, that's real fear. You rehearse it and they're like, pack, 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 pack. There's an explosion here, done. Roll sound. And there's 15 dudes with buttons waiting. Wait, when he hits that square, I'm gonna get it. And there's like 5 dudes with paintball guns to make the dust splats. Real life. Real life, Vietnam, in a trench by myself. No protection, plastic gun, wings don't work, I'm afraid. So the fear you see is real. Just watch it slow.
I actually remember one time in that last sequence of the movie when I was fighting like Steve. There was at one point where they came up to me and they're like, "You're bleeding. You cut yourself." And I was like, "Really?" I was like, "No way. We gotta keep it. This is real." You would have it.
Well, that's saying something because you've actually done a war movie before,
Right, yeah.
And so was this more intense?
Oh man, when you look at Hurt Lock, our budget was like an 1/8, a 20th of Cap. So you know, our explosions were like
like a guy throwing sand at you. Yeah.
Like we didn't have. Our biggest explosion on set was literally when we blew up when we detonated the bombs like a mile from us. And the first time we did it, it's like, all right, well, it's 1,000-pound of explosives. We have a blast shield, so it's going to go that way and that way. You shouldn't feel anything. Everything's all right. So roll sound. So we go to the top of the hill. It's me, Garrity, and Renner. And we're looking down at it. We're like, we just look like a bunch of rocks. So they go, action. And the dudes with their buttons hit the buttons, and you see a ripple coming up the side. And we're all like, that's great! And it blows us about 10 feet from where we're standing. They come and look at it and they're like, are you okay? We're like, well, it was a blast shield. What happened to the shield? So, needless to say, the next time we shot it, they shot it from a different angle, and there was no explosion. There was a dude with a bucket of dust, with a fan, and he threw the dust in the fan, and the dust came over us. That's how we got that scene. That was it.
Acting. Hey there.
Hi, so this week Chris Evans put out a nice suit and did the ALS challenge.
should bring out Chris Evans and ask him about that. No, are you like?
Can we expect the both of you to do it, and will you one up his suits?
Popcorn.
Yeah.
I think.
Here's the thing. Donating money and raising awareness is a good thing, but we're not gonna dump these guys with ice on stage, and the non-dumping, what they do in their own time is their business, but probably not.
Well, I've been on video for not in here. But.
I think what Chris did was.
Glad nothing's changed since the days of Gladiator.
I think what Chris did was really cool and important. We're very happy that he did it. It's for a good cause.
Right on.
You're just don't.
Popcorn indeed. Actually, I want to find out, what about the very first time that you guys met? Take us back to that moment. Was it at a table read? When did you first meet? And were you fast friends, or how'd you build that chemistry? Or
the first time we met was in LA at a party for the I think it was either the Emmys or the Oscars, and it was the In Style magazine party. You might know, yeah, the viewing party, and that was about a year before casting.
before you were even cast, I guess, a long time ago.
Way before. But you know, those parties is all about eating for me. I'm a good catering, dog. I'm gonna sit over here getting these short ribs for a minute. So, it was like, what's up, how you doing? Now the evening goes on. That's when, you know, it's LA, so 10 p.m. people are like, oh my God, I'm so tired. You know, I gotta go get electric. So, so yeah, that was pretty much it. We live a very uneventful lives. We're the boring people.
All right, so first a huge fan, and then I want to ask a question. In the series of Captain America, there are lots of supervillains. So if you're asked to play one supervillain from the Captain America theories, like the Red Skull, Murdoch, or Baron Zemo, or Crossbones, who would you like to play?
Well, that guy already kind of did one, so...
Personally, I don't regard the Winter Soldier as a supervillain. He is...
That's really sweet.
I would say that you counted as a villain in that. And I'm upset now. The nerd herd. Okay, so he gets better, but he does. You kill a lot of people in the movie.
You kill a lot of people. Actually, you kill everybody you meet.
Yeah.
Oh shit, that was.
Damn it, sorry.
I should have gotten his name first. Is there a villain that you would like to play, Anthony?
I would like to play, and I would say what's his name? Skull and Bones, Crossbones. Yeah.
Only because we want to really get Frank Grillo upset.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I could play it better than Frank Grillo.
Me as well.
That's fine. Yeah, and tweet that. And then be a better Crossbones than Frank Grillo. That's G-R-I.
At Frank Grillo.
At Frank Grillo.
Hashtag better Crossbones.
Hashtag ravioli. He'll get it. He knows what it means.
Hi there.
Hi. So, Chris Evans has been known to grab people's left boob. So, my question for the both of you is, have you ever had your left boob grabbed by Chris Evans?
Oh yeah.
I want to know where you...
Time out. This is the interview. Where did you hear that?
Thank you.
Internet.
Where?
It's all over YouTube.
So, who is Tumblr and why did she let Chris Evans grab her boob?
He's laughing.
Wait, who's laughing?
What? Who was he in the process of grabbing?
Was it an awkward hug? Was it like, oh, let's take a picture?
It goes like this. He gets excited, and then he's turns back, and then it's suddenly just like,
Does he linger there for an inappropriate amount of time? Like, yeah.
So this afternoon photo session is going to be very good. We're going to pull a lot of Chris Evanses.
God bless the internet and the fact that you were able to find that information.
That's crazy.
How many of you have heard that?
What did you Google? Do you Google Chris Evans boobs? Graham, Chris Evans boobs? How do you find that? Like, I know. Initial tweet before you hear about it. Like you're sitting at your computer and you're like, oh, Chris Evans.
Someone posts a GIF of it.
Someone posts a GIF?
Again. Like an animated image.
Popcorn, yeah. I have no idea what's going on. I'm confused.
This has gone into a very
at the internet. I'm very confused about the
interesting direction. I normally hear it all. I know, and this one.
I feel like this whole thing's already happened.
Right.
Do you have a non-groping question?
I have 3 groping questions.
Sorry about for Sebastian. I'm from China. I want to tell you, we really have a huge fan group there, so we all wish you can come one day. And my question is, Chris Evans once said that you are the most sweetest child in the world. So what do you think about that? And are you happy to accept his aesthetic challenge?
Okay, so wait.
We're really liked in China. Thank you. Hey, China.
We'd love to go there one day. I really hope I make it there soon.
Done.
Well,
Yeah.
Y'all have Chinese Comic-Con?
Yeah, I come here for you.
Cool. Well, thank you so much. Well, hello back to all the fans in China.
Yeah, you have to say hello to all your friends.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. How do you guys want to see your characters develop within the next film?
Wow.
I don't know. Go ahead.
Good. I know. It's interesting. There's so much stuff on the internet about Bucky becoming Cap, about Chris Evans only having one more deal on his movie thing, and Robert Downey Jr. might become Falcon. There's so much stuff going on.
It's true. I read that too. Yeah.
That was his Tropic Thunder. He's like, I can be Falcon. But
The Hulk's gonna cameo in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
see what I'm? Yes. The Hulk is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles' cousins. Okay. So I would like for Cap to, and this is my Cap 3 synopsis. Cap and Winter Soldier go looking for Bucky. They become friends. What? Oh, Cap and Falcon.
I think you just wrote yourself out of the script, man.
They go looking for Bucky. They become friends. And when Falcon get mad, spoiler alert. Cap and Falcon go looking for Winter Soldier. They find him. They go through this dramatic ordeal of him transforming back into Bucky, girl that wants the miniseries. And then once he goes back to Bucky and we get all the craziness out of his head, then we become a 3-man duo and we go out and be sick. Yeah, see what I mean? He's got a shield, he has an arm, and he has wings. See, right? Great, catchy music, and we save the world. And then we go beat up Batman and Superman.
On the same day, actually. And keep the theme song too. I like that. Let's take a question from the Frankly Chat app. And they said, what is the hardest part about preparing for your role in Captain America? So, just when you get this job and you're part of this larger universe, is the very first thing you do stock up on comic books? How do you kind of get into that entire continuity?
I mean, it's all of that. For me, it's always like, you know, you just want to do the part justice, and there's a lot of takes on it, and you know, the comic books is where you go, but you can't help but pay attention, you know, to how you guys feel about these characters and where you want it to go, and also you don't know where they're going to take the story ever, so you're kind of always working on trying to implement things for the future. So it's a lot.
Yeah.
I threw a big party at my house.
A preparation party.
Yes.
I like it. Hi there.
Hi, I'm Ellen. This is very loud. And I hear you like karaoke. Is that true? You like karaoke?
We are
If
karaoke
the
enthusiasts.
If
Yes.
the follow-up question is if
No,
you're going to
it's not.
ask them to sing,
No.
the answer is no. They're not
No,
big
no,
fans
I
of
just sung a
Don't
song,
worry about
so deal with that, first of all. Second of all, yes, we are karaoke aficionados.
Well, if you had to sing a duet together, what would it be?
I really like Jersey Boys, I realized. I didn't even know that. I like the music.
Yeah.
That's the subplot to the Captain America 3. Yeah.
Someone just felt bad for me.
And the third act. Third act is they just go to Broadway and watch Jersey.
He was
Jersey
so
Boys.
cool 30 seconds ago. Jersey Boys. Starring the Winter Soldier.
Well, yeah, I can see it. Hi.
That would be good.
Whole kick line with golden or metal arm dancers.
So upset.
Yeah.
So upset. I cannot take my mask off. It's hot over here.
Cameo by Bane, maybe.
It'll be like a new Daft Punk.
Oh, Mr. Soldier, we cannot sing this one. I will sing the chorus. Sorry, I was
Like Bane, you
Black
got
Bane,
your game,
sorry.
Blake.
Hi there.
You both do beautiful work. Thank you for pleasure granted. Mr. Stan, how many languages do you have?
Well, I used to speak 3 at one point, but I don't anymore. I really don't. I just speak Romanian and English, and I can understand German now a little bit.
All right.
Boom.
Thank you.
How many languages do you speak?
I speak 2. I'm not trying to brag.
All right. Hi.
Hi guys. I got a question for each if they'll let me. I'll make it quick.
Let's combine the question into one super question.
Sorry. Okay, Sebastian, I want to ask you about King. So this is like 5 years late, but that was such a good show, you know, and your character was really great. I love Jack Benjamin. So I want to know, what was your favorite part about playing him, and do you think he deserved the really like awful thing that happened to him at the end of the season? And Anthony, since you like did theater, you went to Juilliard, right? Yes.
See.
Nice.
That is so boom-worthy right there.
So, what's your favorite theater role?
Yeah, no, I think he deserved that. You know, I mean, he kind of was the own, you know, his own maker in the end. I mean, it was really hard for me to be a part of that because I always wanted so many more things for that character, you know. But you have to honor the script, and that's how he was written. And you know, he was very limited in a lot of ways. But I had a great time working on that.
Cool. How'd you like working on
I'm a huge, like I love theater. I go to the theater all the time. I do theater all the time. But it's my dream to do a musical. And I mean, old school, dancing, like Cleavon Little, music, right? And there's this musical called Pearly. And if you haven't seen it, they did a PBS TV movie of it like in the 60s, and I used to watch it every weekend as a kid on PBS. And that's one of the greatest actors of all time, Cleavon Little, played Pearlie. And that's my, once I become famous enough, I'm going to do Pearlie, and I don't care if 20 people see it.
Hi there.
Hi. So, Anthony
Hello.
Hey.
as someone who speaks out about representing minorities, especially like for children, what is a character of color you'd like to see, like either in a Marvel movie or just even come to the screen?
Well, it's not so much a character of color, because I think when you think of minorities in the superhero world, you also have to speak with women also. So, I think women come in many different shades. And I think for me, I would love to see a Wonder Woman. It has to be real. Like, Wonder Woman can't be like from LA. Like, she has to be the buxom Latino she was in the comic book. Like, she gotta be, you know, J-Lo that can act like a bad, like, little bitty waist, big blue briefs, good times. You know what I mean? Come on.